She ended last year vlogging herself at the Heart Attack Grill and started this year in the hospital.
So many people in my last video were like, I didn't want to get weight loss surgery just because I didn't want to deal with fat phobia. It's because I wanted to get healthy. And here's my follow-up question. What does healthy mean?
This is proof that America's educational system has failed miserably. Somebody left that comment under this video, and I have to agree with them.
Truly, what does healthy mean? And it's different for all of us, but I think the problem is that everybody keeps thinking that healthy has a universal definition and it's applying it to everybody all around us. That needs to be looked at and understood to say like, your healthy might be entirely different than my health.
Fierce Fat Femme wants us to believe this is a real question she's asking.
What does healthy mean?
But she doesn't care about exploring what health really means. She's attempting to muddy the waters, to dismantle the idea of health altogether. She's using the question as a rhetorical device to convince us that the concept of health is so mystical and abstract that we can't even define it. So how could we possibly place value on it? And Fat Acceptance tries to use this tactic all the time.
Well, what does health mean to you, right? It can be very easily triggering. Those phrases, it's almost like we need a whole new language to talk about it.
In my journey and in my recovery, I think the most empowering thing that I've been given is to redefine what health means. I think health sometimes for someone can look like sleeping on the couch all day. I think for someone else, it could look like going to the gym in the morning. I think for someone else, it could be eating a brownie for dessert that night.
That is from a recent episode of the Fab Fatties podcast, where they are doing the exact same thing that Fierce Fat Femme is going to do in this TikTok. I don't disagree that the subject of health can be and is nuanced, but this is not a conversation being had in good faith for any of these fat activists. This is a persuasive tactic. The goal here is just to mystify the concept of health to the extent that obesity can now be categorized under that label. Because what does healthy even mean?
And also a hot take that I've been saying for years and lots of people have been saying, health is not guaranteed. It is not something that everybody can have. So somebody who's chronically ill, disabled, whatever it might be, will not be seen as healthy. Therefore, are they not allowed to have a wonderful life without harm?
It's not a hot take that we don't all get to be healthy. That is common knowledge. And she's being really slimy here. Fat Acceptance does this a lot. People with chronic illness or disabilities get brought up almost exclusively to be used as shields. The setup is now, if we criticize obesity for being unhealthy, then we're criticizing disabled people too. So what kind of monsters are we? And then the ending is its own manipulation.
Therefore, are they not allowed to have a wonderful life without harm?
All of a sudden, she shifts us here mid-sentence to the topic of what people deserve, specifically what sick and disabled people deserve.
But that's not what we're talking about.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Not because she actually cares about what they deserve, but because that's a premise no sane person is going to push back on. Who is arguing that people don't deserve to have safe, happy lives if they are disabled? Nobody. But plenty of people are going to push back when she says, you can't define health and it's not important anyways.
Is it that they should do anything absolutely possible to become healthy, even though they'll be chasing the health marker and the health marker will continue to move?
She's doing her best to describe the pursuit of health as something that's inherently awful. Like it's just some weird, shallow societal pressure that's pushing us to behave this way. But this isn't a moral issue. This is an issue about capability, having enough health to do the things that we want to do. As someone in her comment section put it, you do what you have to do to feel better. I very much subscribe to that, and I am saying that as someone who's been trying to manage what looks like it might be a chronic illness. It might not be something that I'm happy about, but I am definitely not going to just be complacent and accept a lower quality of life than I have to. And we could shut down the entire point she's trying to make right now with one singular question. Honestly, I think that singular question would dismantle this entire TikTok, so I'm gonna save it for the end.
So I don't know why we're sitting here the only thing you need to have and the best thing that you can have is your health.
Says the girl who is currently healthy enough to be mocking people on the internet for caring about health. Advocating for people to deprioritize their health is not just counterculture, it defies all of our human nature. Health isn't just some arbitrary social norm that we all shook hands on. We are biologically wired for survival. If you've ever gone to my YouTube homepage, my banner says, "Health is wealth." I wish I could take credit for those words, but they are not my own. However, that sentiment is reflected across cultures for thousands of years. Across every major ancient civilization, health has been viewed as sacred. And to be honest, I think you can really only speak the way she's speaking right now if you've been lucky enough to enjoy good health for most of your life.
Because what does that mean? How many of you are sleeping 8 hours a night? How many of you are waking up and having breakfast? How many of you are drinking as much water as you're supposed to be drinking?
Notice here how fast she switches from trying to mystify the idea of health
What does that mean?
to immediately going into ways to qualify it. She is actively listing metrics that could be collected to gain an understanding of someone's health while pretending she doesn't understand what health could possibly mean. I think that's because her subconscious is struggling to participate in the lie that she is performing.
So I think for me, having a conversation about like, I got weight loss surgery because I'm the best, healthiest I've ever been. Not just because I didn't want to deal with fat phobia. We are missing the point. We're missing the point.
This is the second time she has felt the need to mock people in this TikTok, which is usually a good sign that you can't really defend your position, so you're getting emotional about it. And then telling people that they missed the point without explaining what point it is that they missed is just further proof of this.
Also, we are not living in the same world where like fascism is tearing us all apart.
We started at health doesn't matter because what does that even mean? And we've landed at health doesn't matter because isn't fascism tearing us all apart?
So yes, I did say like people would rather potentially die from weight loss surgery than deal with the ramifications of fat phobia. And a part of those ramifications of fat phobia is people constantly talking about your health policing, etc.
Rather than reflecting on why she got so much pushback on that initial deranged TikTok,
People would rather potentially die from getting weight loss surgery than remain fat and have the repercussions of fat phobia thrust upon them.
she made this whole second TikTok to double down on this position.
You're expanding on your worst idea.
And also even the own internalized fat phobia of blaming things that happen to your body on being fat. Classic example. If your right knee starts hurting and your immediate response is, my right knee is hurting because I am fat, you're missing the like in between things. And you're also missing the point that like a lot of thin people also have knee pain. They're not fat. So if they're not fat, why do they have knee pain? No health ailment is specific to fat people.
She says this last line like it's some kind of mic drop moment, and then she does this little crap eating grin. But what she just said essentially amounts to nothing. It is completely irrelevant. She has not just disproved the link between fatness and illness. Again, this is like a semantic sleight of hand she's doing. An ailment or a disease doesn't have to exclusively occur in fat people for it to be meaningfully related to fatness. I said earlier that this entire argument could be dismantled with a singular question, and I want to set that question up by painting a picture of the sad reality that she is currently trivializing in this TikTok. So I'm going to turn our attention to a fat acceptance influencer who is currently in the hospital.
Hi guys, today's May 1st, 2025.
This is Zio the Dreamer on TikTok. We watched a video of her together a couple years ago where she was crying about how much pain she was in because of her weight. It was really hard to watch, and seemingly this was about the time in her life that her weight really started affecting her, based on this TikTok, which was also uploaded around the same time.
I just got home. I started a new job. I have a plan to wear on my left foot. This is the second time. I feel like I have a brain tumor, but I'm still going to work. I haven't ate all day. I am so hungry. I'm so tired. I never knew. I mean, I knew the, like, not risk, but I knew what would happen to me if I continued to be this freaking fat. But, like, you know when people are like, dude, you need to lose weight, like, there's health conditions, blah, blah, you feel pain. I never felt pain until now.
So that was her first experience with feeling pain as a result of her weight. Fast forward just a couple years from that TikTok, and she's in the hospital now.
I know a lot of you guys have been worried about me or have been praying for me. I want to say thank you. One thing in these last 4 months that I've learned a lot of things, like having patience and stuff like that. And yes, I only have one working arm.
She also can't walk right now, so she literally has one functioning limb, and she ended up in this position just from contracting pneumonia.
I'm on my 4th cry of the day. I'm telling you, this is no joke. I don't wish this upon anyone.
She ended last year vlogging herself at the Heart Attack Grill and started this year in the hospital.
Come with us to the Heart Attack Grill, where if you weigh over 350 pounds, you get to eat for free. Have you ever been spanked for not finishing your food? Me either. Have you taken a look at me? They even put on a hospital gown. I'm telling you, this place is nuts.
Less than a month after she put that up, she was wearing a real hospital gown in a real hospital in a medically induced coma. This is the reality of what we're talking about right now in terms of health consequences and obesity.
What does healthy mean?
So the one question I would ask Fierce Fat Femme is, would you trade places with Xiomara? If health is really so nebulous, if it's really so abstract, would she willingly give up her own health status and trade it for a lower one?
It's 9 a.m. and I've had my 3rd cry of the day already. You guys wanted to know the raw and the real? Well, this is it. I've been waiting since yesterday to get changed. Because I told the night staff and then they didn't do it. And then it's the day shift now and I'm still waiting. Like, this is the real shit. Like, literally, this is where I want to walk. So I could just go to the toilet and, like, have a normal life again.
That's not a real question, right? Now, I am using questions as a rhetorical device because nobody would choose that unless they're suffering from some kind of mental illness. But every day we make a lot of decisions, and in the moment they might feel insignificant, but our choices have a cumulative effect. They add up over time, and that can be good news or that can be bad news depending on what choices we're making.
It's so unfair. It really is. And I feel for people that have to live like this forever. Like, this cannot be my forever. Like, and it's so degrading.
There are a good amount of people whose forever does look like this. They will forever have to rely on assistance for daily tasks like using the bathroom and bathing, tasks that a lot of us take for granted, and no amount of weight loss or change in nutrition will change that. So I really want to drill home how disgusting it is that fat acceptance activists will use this harsh reality to shield themselves from valid criticism.
I've always done everything for myself. I've never been bedbound. And this has been it's been traumatic, but it's been a very hard journey. Love you.
I really hope we get to see Xiomara recover. It is hard to watch her vlogs from rehab, but I actually think there is a value in doing them as long as she's not prioritizing them over her recovery process. But I'm going to go ahead and call this one here. Thank you for making it all the way to the end if you are still here with me. I want to know what you think, so let me know down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Everybody take care, and I'll talk to you again very soon.